valuations aside for 1 second, we are obviously in a very hot market for cloud services. The reason why this is such a big moment for enterprise software and Salesforce in particular is they are getting really one of the best assets in the category of the future of work. And Slack really is positioned to be able to be the operating system for knowledge workers. And so when you get the scale of Salesforce, where they have amazing distribution capacity, obviously a footprint in the vast majority of the world's largest enterprises, they're going to be able to bring Slack to the masses, which I think in 3 or 5 or 10 years from now will end up looking like an amazing deal. Obviously, you know, that will take a little bit of time to play out, but this will look pretty cheap in retrospect.
With that in mind, would it help if Box was bought by a big partner that gives it more scale and power?
Well, obviously I can't comment on that generally, but you know, for us, we are in the position of being the leading best-of-breed cloud content management platform. So we prefer to have a market where there's lots of companies where people want to be able to work from Slack, they want to be able to work from Teams, they want to be able to work from Zoom or WebEx. Our job is to make sure that we can connect to all of these applications and ensure that our customers have a singular cloud-based content management platform that keeps their data secure, connected, and drive the workflows around their content. So we see this as a really big move for the industry, but also a very positive tailwind for Box specifically.
Investors don't see it that way, at least with the Slack Salesforce deal right now, Aaron. I mean, the Salesforce is down more than 8%. A lot of criticisms out there. Wall Street is writing it up today. One of the big ones is that the previous acquisitions that Marc Benioff has had so much success with, MuleSoft and Tableau, have all been pretty obvious in terms of the synergies and how they can help expand that Salesforce business. This Slack seems like a different kind of end user than Salesforce is used to going after, which is more the back office. Now it's sort of gaining access to all the workers out there. And I think analysts are wondering how ultimately that's going to grow Salesforce's own business that they've managed to do previously.
I think to Benioff's credit, obviously, if investors told him that Salesforce itself wouldn't exist in the late 90s when he started the company, so you do have to make big bets as an entrepreneur and as a founder in big markets. For Slack, the really powerful thing about Slack is that it works across the enterprise. So it breaks out of the normal departmental boundaries that Salesforce typically is focused on in sales and marketing and customer success. So what Slack provides is really a front end for the entire workforce in an organization. And you see so many amazing companies that are much more productive because of tools like Slack. So I think this actually ends up being a new front end for a lot of the distribution, a lot of the innovation that Salesforce wants to be able to bring to market going forward. And so that's why this will end up looking like a very attractive acquisition over time.
Is it a major threat to Microsoft?
I think we're still in the very early innings of this market. The interesting thing is obviously, being in Silicon Valley, and for those of us that pay attention to the market, we feel like, well, we've been talking about the future of work and cloud computing for so long. But the reality is when you add up Slack's user base and Microsoft Teams user base, we're probably only about 10% of the world's knowledge workers that are actually using these products to do the majority of their work. So if you think about how early we are in this journey, I think this is still the early innings of the space, and very similar to, when Facebook had made big moves in things like Instagram or WhatsApp, it actually turned out that there were still billions of people left that needed to go and use these applications. And I think the same is going to be true for Slack, where they have an opportunity to have hundreds of millions of people on their platform, and Salesforce knows that and is able to bring that to market. So I think overall what we're going to see is more innovation in the productivity sector, in this future of work category. I think that'll be good for innovation. I think that'll be good for customers. It'll obviously keep Microsoft on their toes, but that's a good thing for the market overall.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.